Let's get started. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Alrighty, let's see what we have this week. So, first off, we have self-scalers. Let's look for self-scalers. Do we have Puppy? We do not. Do we have Yama? We do not. There's also no Ostrich. And there's no Bison, so there's no self-scalers. Now let's look at team scalers. So there's no Giraffe, there is no Penguin, there is a Dragonfly, but it's a pretty subpar team scaler. There's an Orangutan, also pretty subpar. In tier 5s, we have Poodle, okay. Poodle's going to be very strong in this pack. It seems to be the only team scaling that's available up until there's the Komodo. Komodo, I don't really like it because it shows up quite late and it also gives stats similar to the Poodle. It's to +1/+1, but it has a huge downside of having to shuffle your pets at the end of your turn. So next up we have shop scaling. There's going to be cans, chickens, and lionesses. And because there's so little scaling, I feel like this is going to be a pretty strong strategy. And since it's my favorite combo to just scale a shop, I'm going to try to go for it this arena run. Alright, one thing with the chicken, immediately I also look for ways to get it to level 2 very fast. And what I look for is our pills. There's no pills. There's no blobfish to pill. There's no crow. And there's also no chocolate. So this is a no chocolate weekly pack, which will make getting a lot of tier 2s much harder. You either have to find 3 chickens or you buy 2 chickens and have them separate on your shop in order to scale. I don't tend to scale with just 1 chicken on the board. It's just a little bit too slow. Alright, next up. Let's talk about summoning. There's no sheep, no deer, no rooster. For our tier 5s, we're looking for shark, turkey, and vulture, and there is only vulture. And then in tier 6s, there's orca, fly, white tiger, and then there's also mushroom for your pets. So I feel like summoning is going to be pretty weak this week. There's not enough summoning synergies, no shark, no Spino, no turkey, and there's too many counters. Things like hippo, donkey, lynx, and finally let's talk about the buy-sell scalers. The first things that we look for are the units that actually have a buy-sell synergy. The shrimp, goldfish, dog, and there's also salamander. There is no buffalo. In terms of pets that you want to buy-sell, there's going to be chinchilla, beaver, guinea pig if you have the space. We're also going to try to be doing buy-sells with mole, and the best buy-sell unit, zebra. Lastly, there is the food synergy. In food teams, I look for squirrel, seals. There are no cats. There's no sauropod. If you get multiple seals, with the lack of team scaling, I feel like food synergy is going to be strong enough. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do a voiceover for the first arena run I did, because I ended up taking 30 minutes to finally win. So really quickly to summarize, in the early game, on rounds 3 and 4, I've tripled up into an Okapi, I buy it for tempo, and I roll into salamanders and shrimp. Now, while there isn't that many start of battle effects that are actually available in the pack, there is enough to get it going, and I feel like coupling it up with a shrimp could be quite effective because salamander only gets attack and the shrimp buy-sells. It can kind of supplement the attack on the salamander. In the middle game, I was originally looking for a dog, but since I'm buy-selling too many units, I don't really see any dogs. After quite a couple turns of buy-sell, we've reached turn 9. And immediately I see a chicken. And unfortunately, this is a very risky play because as you can see, I only have 2 health left. Typically I go for a level 2 chicken before I start doing any buy-sells, but I can't really afford to roll 6-7 times and not see a chicken. This is literally going to just cause me to lose. So decide to go ahead and start scaling with chickens and cans. After a couple turns of this, if you watch the teams I'm playing against, even though the level 1 chicken is quite slow in scaling the shop, it is still actually able to stay on top of the other teams because everybody's kind of struggling to figure out how to scale their teams with just one single poodle or Komodos. They don't really feel like it's going to be very good. So everybody's generally very weak. Now, once I've scaled my team enough, I need to start buying other units. And I decide that we're going to transition into a vulture, fly, orca, sniping team. On rounds 14, 15, and 16, the last 3 rounds of the game, I'm going to try to top off my chicken scaling with a lioness, and then eventually I'm going to transition away from all these scalers into a more synergistic team composition. I'm going to slow down this next part on round 15 with 5 gold left. The Emperor Tamarin, when you sell it, it gives the leftmost shop pet 50% of its health and attack. What we're going to do here is we're going to buy and sell that Tamarin and then buy that kangaroo and put it in front. Now, on this last round, our lioness has done its job. It's topped off a little bit more scaling for our shop. We're going to transition into the strongest pet we find, a gorilla and a pepper. At this point, round 16, there's a very high chance that we see something like a 50-50 in front. So a pepper is going to be very, very useful. Nice. Beautiful game. After winning that last pack, I realized something about this weekly pack. Everybody seems to be struggling. They don't really know what they're doing, and most people don't know how to use chicken and lioness. So the second run that I did, I'm going to actually make this a challenge where I force chickens. And since I know that I'm going to try to force chickens, what I'm going to do in the early game is to try to draw and lose. So that way we can position ourselves to have as many turns of chicken scaling as we can. And then also on rounds 3 and 4, we're going to try to pick up as many goldfishes as we can. It's going to really help accelerate the shop scaling when we get there. Basically, from the middle game up until we find our chicken, our goal is to preserve as much health as we can and try to get that level 3 goldfish. On turns 7 and 8, I will try to buy all the cans. Unfortunately, we don't get that many cans and we don't get any chickens. So it is now turn 9 and we are hard rolling for a chicken. Luckily, we get a chicken after 5 rolls. This is above average luck because on this turn you can end up rolling 10 times and you'll still miss every single chicken. Now, after this fight on turn 9, there is something to be said about how much health I have. At 7 health, I'm going to go ahead and start scaling shop with 2 chickens because we can afford to lose. But luckily, after just a single roll, we find our second chicken and we are ready for blast off. And incredibly, even though we're so greedy, spending all of our money on economy and 2 chickens on the shop, because we have a level 2 turtle, we're actually fairly strong. Most people, as you can see in this next fight, most people are really, really struggling with this pack. They don't know what to do with their money. They're just buying random stuff and they're just hoping, I don't know, a level 2 dragon falls out of the sky. Once your shop's 50-50, you know you're going to be the strongest team on the board, and it's basically the world is your oyster. You can do anything you want. You'll see what I eventually do. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward many turns up until I'm done scaling the shop, and I'm going to start trying to figure out what do I transition my team into. It literally does not matter what I buy. I just want to create a really fun team. Of course, we can go for leopard and just have a whole bunch of leopards, but I've done that before and I'm going to try something different. And by round 15, you can see, I think I'm going to settle with reindeers. So if I get a level 2 white tiger, both the reindeers will be level 3. They'll get 3 melons during the fight. I actually think really long here. Can I actually just win with 3 pets? A single white tiger and 2 reindeers. And ultimately, I decided to sell my goldfish and the parrot. I'm pretty confident I'll win here, but let's watch this fight. Incredibly, if you watch it in slow and play it back a little bit slower, I actually got quite lucky that I won. It's now round 17, and we've got 1 trophy left to go. Can we still win? I decided to just risk it just for this video, and let's see what happens. That team was actually weaker than the last team, so I win. GG. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video. You guys should try out this chicken strat. It's going to be by far the strongest strategy this week.